I have to play a George Santos clip for you. And then we're going to be done with George Santos probably forever in terms of political conversations. That's my hope, at least. But before playing this for you, I do just want to credit the show with, even when Santos would make little appearances and would be producing quote-unquote clickbait, I really was intentional about, once he got kicked out of Congress, trying just to not listen to him, because he wants attention so badly. That's what so much of this was about. Let's not give that to him if he's not politically relevant anymore. But since that big news item happened where he pled guilty, I do want to talk about this, and then it'll be sort of the ending of that story, since we covered extensively when he was in Congress, him being charged with these crimes, and now he's pleading guilty to them. So before getting to that news, you probably heard about it already. What's more interesting to me is, now that he has admitted guilt, looking back at, and what we're going to get to, this the most interesting to me is Dr. Phil, interestingly enough, who's sort of a MAGA guy now, but interviewing George Santos and watching Santos, what he was saying before pleading guilty versus what he's now admitting to, is crazy, and one of the most humiliating split screens in American history. Okay, so remember when he originally pleaded not guilty, and I'll remind you of what the charges are in a little bit, but this was his tone.
Fight to defend myself. The reality is it's a witch hunt, because it makes no sense that in 4 months, 5 months.
Cringe.
I'm indicted. You have Joe Biden's entire family receiving deposits from nine family members receiving money from foreign destinations into their bank accounts. It's been years of exposing a lot of you.
So he levies the same weak attacks against Biden. This part, though, truly brings me so much joy for some reason.
Fight to defend myself. The reality is it's a witch hunt, because
it's like he went to MAGA politician school, but because he's George Santos, he didn't have the discipline to actually learn all the courses of how to be sort of the Trumpian dishonest figure, but he remembered that somewhere I learned you're supposed to say things are witch hunts, and it just comes off so disingenuous. Frankly, what was I supposed to say? This is a witch hunt. And then his reasoning is, because I've been in Congress for 4 months, and so that means something, but Biden's been in office longer and he wasn't charged with crimes because he didn't commit them, George. And then really listen to this. This is crazy. It's painful. Painful to watch this, knowing what we now know. Look at him in this Dr. Phil interview. Coming clean. I'm going to be fully transparent with you all now. Saying, there's one thing in this life that I have not done. And it is a shame to the truth, Dr. Philium, that you would accuse me of such things. And that one thing I can say for sure I have never and would never and couldn't imagine doing is theft. My colleague Jaden just told me, and you can look at this on screen, we're going to put on screen. 5 million views last week came from people who aren't subscribed. If that's one of you, click that subscribe button, baby. It's easy, it's free, but it makes all the difference. Back to the video.
Do you think you'll go to prison?
I hope not. I'm going to fight strong not to, because I know a lot of the stuff is going to be litigated in court.
When's your trial date?
Oh, it's going to be litigated.
September 9th is the start of the trial.
If there's something that is the most unfair allegation against you in terms of just your life and things that people have spread about you, what would it be?
Being called a thief is just unfounded and wrong, period. I don't tolerate that. And I don't think anybody should. This is just crazy. That's why I've welcomed this.
Okay, then I'm going to show you Dr. Phil asking the crowd, do you believe George Santos? Which is funny, but I wouldn't tolerate it. I don't tolerate the slander, the lies, the filth, that the fake news, what's the term that Trump uses? That the nasty fake news is spreading about me. I pose such a threat as a now former congressman and cameo star to the deep state that they're making this up about me. And you can say a lot of things about George Santos, but theft is not one of them, okay? Let's just put it simply like that. And then the Department of Justice reports Santos admits he filed fraudulent FEC reports, embezzled funds, theft from campaign donors, charged credit cards without authorization, stole identities, obtained unemployment benefits through fraud, and lied in report to the House of Representatives. And I should pull up for you him admitting to this. Santos guilty, but I'm having a really hard time talking and typing. That was disastrous. But think about that. There's one thing he would never do, and that's theft. And then I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who has done more stealing than George Santos. He stole funds from campaign donors. He charged credit cards without authorization, so he stole people's money through their credit cards. He stole identities. So just forget the property. I'm going to steal you, bub. And stole money through unemployment benefits. And honestly, you could say tried to steal a United States House of Representatives seat by lying to his constituents. And here's him on camera admitting this.
I'm taking responsibility because I have to. There's no other way around it. To my family, friends, and supporters, and the people of New York's 3rd Congressional District, I offer my deepest apologies. It has been the proudest achievement of my life to represent you, and I believe I did so to the best of my abilities. But you also trusted me to represent you with honor and to uphold the values that are essential to our democracy. And in that regard, I failed you.
By the way, I'm thinking now, the show has grown since we last talked to George Santos in such ways that now I'm worried some of you are thinking, who's George Santos? Because a lot of new people are getting into politics right now because of the election. Hopefully you didn't leave because you didn't know. George Santos. Oh, how do I explain George Santos? He ran for Congress in New York State. He flipped a district that Biden had won. So it was a big election. Openly gay. That was a big thing too as a Republican. And it seemed like a sort of big win for Republicans. An identity that was unique in the Republican Party. A seat that was difficult to win in the Republican Party. And then the second he wins, just, you know what hits the fan, okay? And we find out that he lied about his ethnic background. He lied about his mother's death. He lied about his career past. He lied about his educational past. He lied about his family lineage's involvement in the Holocaust. He lied about his family's involvement in 9/11. He lied about friends' involvement. I can't believe this is all off the top of my head. Okay, you know what? Yep, I'm giving it. He lied about the friends of his dying in the Pulse nightclub shooting. Just everything. And then we went, wow, that's bad. What a liar. And they went, oh, no, no, no. And they, I guess, I mean, the universe said, oh, no, there's more. He also stole from his campaign donors. But Luke, what did he need to steal that money so badly for? Food for his children, obviously. Oh, nope, not that. Botox, OnlyFans, and clothing and things to that effect. We might do a little, I don't know, we might have to edit that to the beginning because that is so important for you to know if you didn't know it already. And now after saying there's one thing I don't do, and that's stealing, and I don't tolerate, that was his word. Oh gosh. The pretentiousness. I don't tolerate people accusing me of being a thief. Except for theft related to money, theft related to identities, and theft related to people's credit card numbers. Oh, George.
It's abundance amount of transparency, and I want to do more and more, and just
If you think George is being transparent and forthcoming, raise your hand. If you think he's still ducking and weaving and spinning, raise your hand.
all right.
Well, there's some feedback
That's
about how
great.
you're coming across.
That's great. Okay, and I
But you should
accept
take
it.
that feedback.
I take the feedback. Yeah, I'll do better.
Look, I spent a lot of time in the litigation arena. I had a firm called Courtroom Sciences. We did trial science work and preparing witnesses for trial. And a lot of that was teaching them to tell the truth effectively. Let's assume that you really want to tell the truth. Okay, just for argument's sake. You suck at it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just,
Do I suck at it, or is it the preconceived notion?
no, it doesn't matter.
Oh, gosh. It hurts. Ugh. It's one thing to have watched these things in real time and gone, wow, he really has deluded himself into thinking he's the victim. But hey, maybe, I don't know, when you don't know for sure if someone's guilty, it's easier to go, all right, but maybe they're really believing what they're saying. Do you just have preconceived notions about me? Because that, sir, is prejudice. I don't hang out with prejudiced people. And then to now know, and so then we're watching the clip with that context, that he did all the things and he's speaking like this, I don't tolerate those sorts of allegations, is something else.
Sure, it's just it's the reality. If I had your case, if your lawyers came and said, Dr. Phil, we want to hire you as a trial consultant here, and we need you to prepare George for trial to testify, oh, you and I would have to go to Fantasy Island or something, because we.
Wait, quick pause. What's Fantasy Island? Dr. Phil. Is that, I'm probably the dumb one. I don't know what that is. It sounds snotty.
We would be in the woods for a long time, because there'd have to be some serious changes. You don't come across as forthcoming and transparent.
Understood.
You come across, let's put it, I would not.
You remember when I said Dr. Phil gives me the creeps? Because his Trump interview, he sort of gazed at Trump like, and I'm sorry for dipping out of the professionalism I would love to stick to, but it's just too available here. Looking at Trump, how do I say this? Looking at Trump with a gaze and a determination and a passion that resembles the look Trump wishes Melania would give him. Is that fair? And since then, Dr. Phil has given me the creeps. Him saying we would need to go to Fantasy Island and out into the woods together adds to that. There could have been a better way to make that point.
Not buy a used car from you.
Fair enough.
And I'm not being judgmental here. I'm telling you, if you are a truth teller, you suck at it.
All right.
I'm just giving you some free advice you didn't ask for. If you're telling the truth, you need to change your delivery. Because if you take this approach to trial, you need to feed the cat and turn off the utilities, because you're going to be gone a while. You don't want to go to court with this approach, because this is a jury out here. This is 250 jurors out here who.
Yeah, so he's not going to trial now. He's admitted guilt, and it's just a story. It's the story we all didn't know we didn't need, and now wish we didn't have. Let me know what you thought of all that in the comments. If you want to get extra content daily and support this show, you can do it by clicking the join button below.